Hey, what's up guys and gals? Welcome back. I'm Michael Scott, and this is the Ultimate Tech Hub. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to terminate all Ethernet cable types except for Cat7, because Cat7 is officially dead. And if you don't believe me, then you're going to want to watch this video at the end of this video. It's a good one. Alrighty, so let's get started. So first we'll start with Cat5e, then Cat6, then Cat6a, and then Cat8. And yes, this video is broken down into chapters, so you can skip ahead to wherever you want. Alright, first we're going to start with Cat5e.
The first thing we have to do is strip the wire back about 1.5 inches. That will give us plenty of room to work with the copper wire inside. There we go. Next thing to do is to separate the colors. Got your orange, blue, green, and brown. Now, according to the configuration, the wire configuration, we are going to begin lining these up. The two wires that are most difficult with this particular wire scheme are the green. They tend to want to go back to their spot. You're separating the striped green with a solid, and it's kind of difficult, but I do have a hack for that, so keep watching. Here's the hack. So find a flat surface like my desk and begin pressing down with a lot of pressure. You're pulling on it. You want to tug, get a really good amount of pressure there. Keep going until you feel the wires are totally flattened together and they're not going to go anywhere. They stay where they're supposed to be. Once they do that, once they're where they stay, you can now put that in the connector. Okay, now it's time to trim up the wire so it can go in the connector. We're going to take off about, looks like, almost 1/2 inch. And we didn't get it cut straight, so get some scissors and go across it straight so everything looks uniform. And that's perfect. Remember, these wires should be short enough to go into the connector, and the black sheath should be able to go up inside the connector. No wire should be exposed at the bottom. And it looks like it's perfect. Now with the crimping tool, just one good squeeze. And you got yourself a perfect patch cable.
Alright guys and gals, next is Cat6.
We're going to use 23 gauge Cat6 riser cable to make our 2 custom patch cables. Let's go ahead and cut our 2 cables to the length needed. There are 3 important reasons to keep your patch cables as short as possible. The first reason is it frees up space to allow for more devices to be installed in your network box. The second reason is it will keep your devices cooler by allowing more air to circulate. And the third reason is it just looks better having the cables at the correct length. Looks nice and clean. So strip both ends of the wires back about 1/2 inch. Next, use the string to get the correct length for the second cable. Once again, strip both ends of the wire back about 1/2 inch. Next, go ahead and separate the 4 pairs. Now go ahead and cut the string off. Next, untwist all 4 pairs. Next, organize the wires into the T568B configuration, from left to right. Next, cut the wires straight across. There we go, perfect. Add 2 boots before you connect the RJ45. Now go ahead and slide the wires into the RJ45 connector, like that. Use the crimping tool to secure the RJ45 connector. To save time, I'm only going to show you how to make one cable, because the process is the same for both cables. I am using the Easy RJ45 connector, as well as the Easy crimping tool. If you're new to making these patch cables, I would recommend both of these. Done.
Alright, now we're going to terminate Cat6a. Alright, these are all the supplies and tools we're going to need to terminate the Cat6a. First, you're going to need some Cat6a. Probably not 1,000 feet, but you could probably buy 500 feet or 250 feet of this. And this is Cat6a UTP, unshielded twisted pair. So the tools you'll need for this job are a wire stripper, wire cutter. You'll need a crimping tool, so make sure this is the Cat6a Cat7 crimping tool because the Cat5e will not work. Should say right here, and it does. Also, you'll need some connectors. These are the traditional Cat6a premium connectors, and these are the pass-through connectors. We're going to use these today because this is a pass-through crimper. I can't use these on this one because it'll actually just break the end of it. And since we're using UTP, which is unshielded twisted pair, there is no ground wire in here or any foil. So let me show you what this looks like. I'll go ahead and show you how to use the stripper. You see the blade right there? Put it like right here. And then you want to turn it. And then I'll break it like that. And then after you break, just pull it off. And let me show you how this looks. As you can see, we have the traditional 4 pairs, the green, blue, brown, and orange. This is the center core. And we'll have to snip this off when we do the termination. One thing to note about this is the easiest of the Cat6a types to install. And with Cat6a, it's very thick and rigid and it's tough to bend. And Cat6a is definitely harder to terminate than Cat5e or Cat6 riser cable. Also, one more thing to note is that these wires, you'll have a green right here, but this white does not have the white green on it. So make sure once you untwist these, you kind of keep them segregated together. Otherwise, you're going to get them mixed up. So just keep that in mind when you're terminating these cables. So yeah, that's it. This is unshielded twisted pair.
Okay, the first thing we're going to do is untwist all 4 pairs. And then we're going to straighten them out. That way, we can easily get these wires into the T568B configuration. And the best way to do this is to use the old wire cover that we removed earlier. This technique makes untwisting the wires and flattening them really easy. It also saves your thumb and fingers from getting sore. And guys, don't forget, hit subscribe, it's totally free. So once you unravel all 4 pairs and get them straight as possible and flat as possible, it's time to trim off that inner core. Remove all 3 plastic pieces as flush as possible. Now it's time to line up the wires in the T568B configuration. It goes white, orange, orange, white, green, blue, white, blue, green, white, brown, brown. Now trim off the wires straight as possible. And I think these wires look pretty good. Now insert all 8 wires carefully and slowly into the pass-through connector. Once the wires come out the other end, make sure to check the colors to make sure they're all correct. Because Cat6a cables are very thick, we need to kind of smash the end down a little bit to allow the blue cable cover to go inside the connector a little bit. So use this part of the crimping tool to help flatten that part out a little bit. And then we can slide the blue part of the cable inside the connector. Now it's crimping time. Insert the connector all the way into the crimper, and then simply press down. We hear kind of a snap. And then pull it back out and check your work. Looks really good. And lastly, put that boot cover on. Looks really good. So if you plan on terminating shielded Cat6a, you have to use these connectors. This connector has that clamp or that ring that wraps around the cable and secures the ground wire to that clamp. And these connectors also have a load bar. You would simply insert the wires into the load bar and then insert the load bar into the connector. And these are the Cat6a premium connectors. They also have a load bar as well, but no grounding bracket.
Alright guys and gals, next is Cat8.
So as you can see, this is Cat8 SFTP 24 AWG patch cable. And we're going to install a Cat8 RJ45 connector. And this connector includes 4 pieces. First thing you want to do is insert the cable into the screw top boot. And the threaded part should be facing up. Next, we'll strip back the cable wire about 1.5 inches. And this cable stripper was provided by Sat Maximum. This stripper is modular and works with Ethernet and coax. Simply give it a few turns,
and the wire should be cut. Next, remove the plastic sheath, and now you can see the braided metal foil wrap. And we're going to pull all the metal foil wrap down. But we're not going to remove it. Instead, we're going to twist it all together and then wrap it around the patch cable, like so. And the tighter you twist these wires, the easier it is to wrap around the cable. And then we'll secure it to the patch cable using the copper tape. And the copper tape basically grounds the wire to the cable. And I've seen many videos on YouTube where they've actually cut the wires instead of wrapping them. And this is incorrect. These wires must be grounded. So now we can separate all 4 pairs of wires and then remove all the foil wrap. We want to expose all 4 pairs of wires. And just a heads up, all Cat8 cables are shielded. There is no unshielded variant. And I'll simply cut at the bottom to remove the wrap. And be very careful not to cut the wires. Once all the foil is removed, we can now terminate the cable. And we're going to terminate the Cat8 cable using the T568B configuration. And you can see the markings right here. It's all color-coded. So we're going to insert the first 4 wires into the bottom holes first. It goes white, orange, orange, and white, green, green. And after you insert all 4 wires into the holes, you want to slide the white plastic piece all the way down. And we can now do the top 4 wires. So at the top it goes white, blue, blue, white, brown, brown. And make sure the wires are pushed all the way down. And once the wires are all seated in, we'll trim off the excess wire. And I'm going to use a wire snipper. But you could use scissors as well. Just make sure to cut the wires as close as possible to the end of the connector. The closer the better. Once we're done trimming up the wires, we can then insert it into the RJ45 connector. And make sure the connector sits flush. There should be no gaps. Then next, close the hinge. Now, in order to close the hinge all the way, I'm going to use a pair of vice grips. But you could also use pliers. And then next, screw on the metal boot. And you might need to use pliers as well in order to tighten the boot. And bam, you're done. You now have a Cat8 RJ45 connector. Pretty cool. And remember, all supplies and tools will be listed below. And guys and gals, now you can check out the video on why Cat7 is officially dead. And also check out our top 4 Ethernet cables for gaming. And with that, I'll see you in the next video real soon. High five. Peace.